at the end of the day, like, you know, our looks are just a fleeting thing about us. It's aging is it's a privilege, and I wish we viewed it from that lens more so than being afraid of it.
Welcome back to 2190 Live, everybody. I'm Zaina Allen. I am here with model, influencer, advocate, amazing woman overall, and a new mom, Tabria Majors. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing so well. I'm so happy that I'm able to chat with you today. First of all, congratulations. What is it like being a mom?
It's really amazing. She just turned 2, so yeah, we have our hands full right now. She keeps us busy.
They say that terrible twos is a thing. Is that right now? Are we there yet?
I can tell emotionally, some things are happening, but it's been fairly chill so far, but we'll see how things go.
We love to see it. And we know like overall when it comes to motherhood, we know that postpartum is a real thing. And I know you said she's 2, but postpartum is it takes a while to get through. And I want
Mhm.
to know how your relationship, especially as someone who has been a body positive advocate, how your relationship with your body has evolved throughout your career and then after becoming a mother.
Yeah, I mean, my weight has fluctuated so much throughout my entire life, and especially now. Um, so I went through a lot of different changes after having the baby, obviously, as everyone does, but I didn't really feel too pressured. I didn't put that pressure on myself, I'll say, because I think that's what happens. A lot of moms put the pressure on themselves to snap back and, just to fall into the beauty cycle trends. But I just didn't allow myself to feel that way because I was so focused on her. I that would just feed into negative thoughts, and that contributes to more postpartum depression, and I really just wanted to focus on the baby and just how I was feeling, health wise. So yeah, I was still working a ton. Like I worked with Torrid like throughout my whole pregnancy practically. I worked until I was like 8 months pregnant. And they were the first client that I worked with when I started working back again after having her. They're one of the brands I really appreciate because throughout all the phases in my life, they've always been there and have always kind of accepted me as I am. So yeah, I thought that was really amazing.
Love that. I love that. And now speaking of Torrid, I want to know what this year's campaign means to you personally and professionally. We know that you have worked with them, like you said, you worked with them for such a long time. You worked with them up to 8 months pregnant, which is go ahead, girl. We love to see it. We love a working woman. So what does this year's campaign mean to you?
This year's campaign is especially important because there's going to be 5 winners, which I think is amazing, and they're going to represent all different ages. And I think it's really special to have that in this day and age of modeling when you really only see, certain types represented. I'm 35 now and I'm old as a model. you know, I know it's not old at all, but comparatively, it kind of is. I started late when I was 25, and when I was at the casting call a couple weeks ago, I was talking to so many of the participants in line, and they were saying, I don't know, I'm too old. Or there were a lot of girls there who brought their moms, and I was asking the moms, hey, are you entering into the casting call? And they're like, oh, no, no, I'm just here to support my daughter. And I was like, well, you should enter. You never know, y'all could be a cool duo. So I think that's really amazing that they're doing that and showcasing all different types of women. So yeah, I love the casting call. I love being a part of it, and just seeing everybody and interacting with everybody. It's really special.
I think it's so interesting that you mentioned one that you're old. You're not old, girlfriend.
I know, no, I
Yeah.
know.
But I think that's so interesting that you also empowered the moms to also be a part of the casting, even though if they didn't, they didn't. But I want to
Yeah.
know, I want to know, like, on from your own terms, how do you empower women to embrace their bodies and redefine beauty? You're kind of doing it as it is now, like, and telling these moms, like, you can come on too, girlfriend. Y'all can be a power
Mhm.
duo. So, like, what has that been like for you to advocate for women to embrace their bodies at all ages, all phases of life, and to really redefine beauty?
Honestly, it's really difficult in this day and age to not be so strict on yourself when it comes to beauty. Beauty is currency, right? Like we know that pretty privilege is real. And when you're on social media and you're just looking at yourself so much throughout the day on our phones, just taking selfies, just looking at the camera just to see what we look like. I don't think we're meant to see ourselves that much. So it's tough just telling somebody to love yourself when the world tells you not to. But I think I don't know what it is for everybody, but for me, just finding my own inner happiness and, just trying to be as active as possible with my family and with my friends and really just building community. That's become more important to me now than ever. And I know that doesn't really answer your question directly, but it really makes you appreciate what's really important in life. And at the end of the day, like, you know, our looks are just a fleeting thing about us. It's aging is it's a privilege, and I wish we viewed it from that lens more so than being afraid of it. So, I hope that message resonates with someone. But
Absolutely. No, it
yeah.
does. It does. And I think it's really important that we have people like you to speak up about and make us feel more comfortable about being who we are. I think that's a big thing for
Mhm.
me too. Like I love empowering women to just be a woman and have fun in your womanhood throughout your entire life. And we've
Yeah.
seen that with you throughout your entire career that we've known you. And I just want to know as my final question, what type of legacy do you want to leave behind in life, you know?
I mean, legacy. I, I'm not too concerned with that, to be honest. I just want to be a good person. That's it. I want everybody to have everything they need. I want to raise my daughter to be a confident, woman and not be afraid to speak her mind. That's honestly all I'm worried about. Health and happiness. That's truly it. And just to bring it back to Torrid, I just want everybody to realize like what they're doing and how important the work is because we've seen kind of a decline in the industry as a whole, but especially with plus size fashion. And I just really appreciate that they're making such a stance in this space during a time where, we may not really feel represented. So yeah.
I love to hear it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank
And I'm
you.
so excited to see what these winners look like when we see all five of them.
Yes, me too.
Absolutely. Well, you have an amazing day.
You too. Thank you so much.